Hey everyone. So I wanted to do a module on third-party libraries because up to this point, you've pretty much been coding everything from scratch. And that's fine, but as you get into more complex programs and websites, doing everything from scratch kind of sucks. And it's very rare in a real software project that you would literally code every piece of the functionality. There are lots of coding libraries out there that other people have done, sometimes for free. In fact, very often for free. Those are open source projects that you can bring into your project and utilize and implement. And so I just want to give an introduction to that here. So just to kind of show you the field, if we go and just type something like useful JavaScript libraries, um, we will find a wide list of different things. Now, uh, typically you don't want to just Google this and pick things out that you don't know about, but you'll often reach for different libraries based on some specific piece of functionality that you're maybe looking to do. And you might not know yet what kind of stuff you're looking to do, but I want to use this module as a chance to give kind of a broad idea of the stuff out there. We'll just kind of see the general trends of third party libraries and how we'd implement them. Um, in an easy fashion for client side development, and then we'll hone in on using a super common one that will probably be useful to you in some point. Bootstrap, super common library. So let's get started. So I pulled just a few here as examples. So we'll start with just like a low hanging one that's very simple but very powerful. So Day.js, and this page doesn't really show you kind of what it's used for. I guess if I go here, um, so what is Day.js? It is a minimalist JavaScript library that parses, validates, manipulates, and displays dates and times for modern browsers with a largely Moment.js compatible API. Now, you don't, that might not mean anything to you, but Moment.js was the king of date times for JavaScript until they deprecated it. So, um, what does this give you? What does this library functionality give you? It gives you essentially just ways to take dates and times, parse them, and then convert them. So let's say that you were given a date in the future or a date and you want a specific day in the future. So actually, I'll just demonstrate each library. So first off, pretty much most libraries have different ways to install them, and I'm actually going to show you um, only one in this module, but later we're going to see kind of the more common way you'd implement it, but I'm going to show you the easy way first. So the browser, which is where we're doing stuff. So here they're showing you that you can just download the library and then start using it. So this script shows that you could download this and include it. And let's go ahead and just get a I'm gonna go into my class folder here. Cool. We'll just get a quick HTML file going here. Whoops, did not actually, well, that's okay. So HTML and some JavaScript. So first common way, which you'll really see nobody doing, is to right here showing you that you can, hey, download this by hand. And sure, you could go ahead and do that. You could download this and put it in your page, but really that is such a pain, and I'm not going to do it. So it's just a regular JavaScript file that you could include and use, but most people nowadays, not nowadays really, most people will, and even prior days, use something known as a CDN. So what is a CDN? A CDN is a content delivery network. They are essentially super fast computers set up multiple places that you can just quickly access these libraries over the internet. So while you might not want to use this for a production website, even though it's very commonly done, in a pinch, it's very easy to include functionality through CDNs. So we could just go ahead and put this script in, and then I'm going to link to my main script. And now I can start doing dates. So if I go ahead and we'll just let's kind of go through the documentation. So whenever you use some sort of third-party API or third-party coding library like this, you have to look at the documentation. Just like we saw with APIs, all libraries are different, and they are going to describe to you how to use it, the manual, the documentation. So here we will just go inside here, and I'm going to make a variable now, set it equal to day.js. I'll make it a let. And let's see what this gives us. Okay, we get M. Awesome. So we get M, we get $D, $H, $M. I don't know what the W is, $D. But these are actually, if you pay it might look like gibberish. It's an object of stuff. But if you look at it, you're getting the day. It's the 19th. You're getting the hour. For me, it's 10 o'clock right now. You're getting the minutes, 38 minutes, the milliseconds, the seconds. I don't know what $M is or $W, but you can kind of start picking out pieces here. And that might not seem like, oh, well, whatever. So now that you have a date, it might be useful to parse it in the way that you want to. So maybe I want to display a date in a certain manner. So maybe I'll call give me just formatting. Oh, here we go. Display. Format. So it looks like I call the day.js function, and then I can call .format on it. So if I do .format, and I can do something like this. Let's say I want to display the full month name. So I'll say MMM, the full day, DDDDD, or actually let's do the actual day. So this will give us the number, and then the full year. And now let's log this. February 19th, 2023. So with just a tiny bit of code, I didn't have to write day.js. I didn't have to write this format function. I'm able to take dates and format them, display them. You can manipulate them. So maybe you want to take a date and get 5 days in the future, whatever. This is just a quick example of like Pygame library and getting some useful functionality from this. To code this all yourself would take a fairly significant amount of time. So being able to just grab this off the shelf and use it immediately is pretty helpful. And this is one of the most common use cases of JavaScript libraries. I've used Moment.js before, and I haven't used day.js, but it's very similar. Because displaying dates on a website is actually very important, and especially if you have like an international client, you need to display things based on certain locales or however. But you might say, okay, that's not very sexy. Let's see something that, has a little more bang. So here's a library called Chart.js. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete this CDN now. And there is a Chart.js CDN library that I'm going to bring in. So, and then it shows me, hey, if you pull this script in, it's putting it in its own little script tag. I'm putting it in an external script tag. It will work just fine doing this. Though notice it's looking for some element called my chart, which is a canvas element here. So I'm going to copy that and put it in my HTML. Save it, save that, and now let's see what our page looks like when I refresh. Wow, a full chart. And I didn't do much of anything except copy and paste stuff. And that's the point. The point is these libraries will give you functionality. You just need to look at how to use them. And specifically here, they're saying, hey, you're going to make a bar chart. This is the data you're going to feed in, the labels, the data sets, and some options. And all you have to do is use things in this way. So it will go through, if you go through the documentation, it'll explain it here, but I'm not going to go through Chart.js. I just kind of wanted to give a little wow. The main library that I'll go into detail about is a library known as Bootstrap. Bootstrap is an open source CSS library that was made by Twitter, and basically making web pages look nice is hard. And if you've taken something like Web Essentials, you've gotten the basics of CSS. And I think I've done like a little tiny bit of the basics of CSS in my intro and intermediate courses, but up to this point, I haven't made my web pages look particularly good, because that takes time and I want to focus on JavaScript. But it's very useful, and the reason I want to focus in this library is because if you ever want to try to get a job in the field, the looks of your portfolio are going to matter. And if they look kind of like crap, like plain HTML, then that's limiting. And so having a way to make your web pages look pretty nice very quickly is a useful skill. So in the next few videos, we'll go over the Bootstrap library, how to use it, how to bring components in, and make your website look really nice. And this is, in fact, I said it was made by Twitter. This is the styles that are used on twitter.com identically. So thank you for watching. We'll start looking at how to use this in the upcoming videos.